Here are 4 movies about what it's like to try to get a movie made. First is The Big Picture from 1989, directed by Christopher Guest, who you know is Nigel from This Is Spinal Tap.
These go to 11.
And Kevin Bacon is sitting in a shopping cart because that's what people do when they can't afford a dolly system. In The Big Picture, Kevin Bacon plays Nick Chapman, who has just graduated from film school at the top of his class. He gets offers from some powerful people in Hollywood and has to decide who he's going to make a movie with. The great J.T. Walsh, who died way too early in his career, plays the head of a studio.
No, I'm from Ohio.
Oh, really? My first wife is from Illinois.
The Big Picture is a movie I wish more people knew about. It shows how Chapman changes as he becomes part of the Hollywood system. You get the feeling that Christopher Guest included a lot of in-jokes about what it's like to be devoured by Hollywood.
Well, I'd like to make a film.
Well, you've come to the right place.
You also get a terrific performance from Jennifer Jason Leigh, who I love, playing a woman who embodies the art student and filmmaker we've all seen before.
Brilliance.
So how long have you had this place?
I got it right after school. It used to be an old mannequin factory. I fixed it up. A lot.
Good job.
The DVD has a commentary track with Christopher Guest and Kevin Bacon. The movie is wickedly clever, and I hope you check it out.
In the market, the vendors, the thieves and pretenders are waiting.
Next is Badass from 2003, directed by the insanely talented Mario Van Peebles. Now, describing Badass can be confusing if you've never heard the backstory, but it goes like this. Mario Van Peebles is the son of Melvin Van Peebles, who created movie history in 1971 when he released his movie, Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. That was the independent movie that broke box office records at the time. It was a movie that the major studios wouldn't make, so Melvin spent his own money to produce the movie himself. It became required viewing for the Black Panther Party. When Hollywood saw the business that Sweetback was generating, they rushed their own movies into production about black heroes, thus creating the blaxploitation genre. In the movie Badass, Mario plays his father as he tries to get Sweetback made. It's one of the only movies I've ever seen that's consistently entertaining every single moment.
Look around you. No crew has ever looked like this. We're not supposed to get along, let alone be able to make a movie together, okay? Once we get started, there's no quitting. So anybody want out, hit the door now.
It's fascinating to see the problems that Melvin had to deal with and how he sacrificed everything, including his own health, to get around them.
Financing for this film has been put on the back burner for the foreseeable future. Like the next 5 to 10 years, man. You gotta go in there. You gotta cancel.
I'll use my own bread.
Oh, no, man. Nobody uses their own money to finance a movie, man. What if
The cast is loaded with top actors. You even get Vincent Schiavelli as a bonus.
An X-rated black film with no stars. No Sidney Poitier, no Diane Carroll.
In this film, a black hustler beats up 2 white cops, screws a white chick, and gets away with it.
Black folks are gonna love it.
Black folks don't own theaters in America. Old white guys do.
Badass has been released on DVD at least twice. Once as a special edition that I highly recommend because it has a commentary track with Mario and Melvin. And in a way, that track becomes a historical document. Next is one of the most popular favorite movies in recent years, Ed Wood, released in 1994, written by Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski, and directed by Tim Burton. Scott and Larry knew how difficult it was to get a good movie made, having suffered through writing Problem Child, a movie that made money at the time, but had its tone changed from their original vision. Scott Alexander even cried at one of the movie's early screenings. Once Problem Child was under their belt, they wanted to celebrate the career of Ed Wood, who at that time in the 90s was being called the worst director of all time, which of course he is not. Scott and Larry gave the first draft of the Ed Wood script to Tim Burton on a Friday, and by Sunday they knew it would be his next movie. Johnny Depp plays Ed Wood, a man with big dreams and unfortunately small budgets.
Really? Worst film you ever saw? Well, my next one will be better.
He's surrounded by his enthusiastic group of friends who believe in his vision. Anyone who doesn't know the facts about the real Ed Wood might think a lot of this movie is made up, but Ed did become friends with Bela Lugosi. It was late in Lugosi's career, and he had sadly become addicted to drugs. Martin Landau won an Oscar for playing that role. The DVD and Blu-ray of the movie have a terrific commentary track by Scott and Larry and other people. Before the internet existed, I simply enjoyed the movie Ed Wood privately in my home. Little did any movie lover know that it was becoming one of the most loved movies. Because of the internet and podcasts, I can see now that I was right about this movie all along. Bill Hader said he cries at the end of Ed Wood, and I'm right there with him. Next is another great movie about someone who, like Ed Wood, was an outsider trying to get a movie made. Eddie Murphy plays Rudy Ray Moore in Dolomite Is My Name, released in 2019. And would you believe this is another great movie written by Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski. Years ago, Eddie Murphy wanted to meet Scott and Larry because he too was a big fan of their movie Ed Wood. He asked them to write a movie where he'd play Rudy Ray Moore.
Way down in the jungle deep.
It took years, but the movie was eventually greenlit by Netflix. Murphy had starred in family movies the last so many years, so an entire generation had never heard him use the F word. And boy does he use that word plenty in this movie. It's fascinating seeing the scenes where the Dolomite character is invented.
Way down in the jungle deep.
Hey man, don't give me that Buddy Hackett shit. Make that shit swing. Put your weight on it.
But the monkey got wise and started using his wit.
Man, I
And
put
later,
on the girdle.
his
What I got to
low-budget
do?
movies get
Come
made.
on, brother. They waiting on Dolomite movie. Check this out. It's called Cornbread Earl and Me. Brother, don't nobody want to see no shit like that.
People have described Rudy Ray Moore as a loser who refused to lose. To date, there's no official physical release of the movie, so you can only see it at Netflix.
Is there any angle that you could shoot this where it looks like he's actually kicking him?
There's no such angle.
So that's 4 movies about trying to get a movie made. I hope you check these out.